Hey folks, got my trailer hitch pretty well mocked up, and I think I gotta cut some 45s yet on this tube and then weld in kind of a triangle shape there, make sure that it's watertight, and I'll weld it on the inside of this and the back side too to make sure that keep all the water out. It had a couple of holes in the end plates that I cut off that allowed water, and salt water here in Wisconsin, and once it sits someplace for a while, it tends to really rot things out. Doesn't matter how thick it is. I've seen it rot 1/4 inch stuff right down to nothing. So yeah, my vice grips aren't pretty either, but they work. It's just old vice grips I had laying around for the job here. So there's my bracket. Got gusseted on that side, and you can see the gusset a little better here. And I flipped the angles around because I wanted to be able to encapsulate the tube more or less on the inside here to make it a little more structural. I'll weld that all in. So put some new cap screws in it, and I'll Loctite those in place, try and seal all the water and crap out of there if I can. And yeah, it's coming along. And there's it's all scrap metal pretty much. Drops of angle and an old scrap hitch I had laying around. You can build an airplane out of scrap metal if you want to. If you don't believe me, just look up Mike Patey. He's building a scrap airplane. He's calling it Scrappy, and he's got a lot of knowledge when it comes to airplanes, so he can do that. But I've got a lot of knowledge when it comes to recycling and fabrication on stuff that's on the ground. I think I'll stay there with my abilities. That's it. I'll show you these are the brackets I cut off. I just use a angle grinder, 4.5 inch angle grinder with cut off disc. That works real slick for chopping apart scrap. These don't even know what they fit. They weren't for a Toyota Camry, so I'll throw them in the other scrap pile I have, and maybe, who knows, they'll get cannibalized for something else. Real easy to chop it right here and make another small bracket for something if I needed it or whatever. Scrap steel's nothing to be ashamed of. You got a lot of it around. And if you need to make something, you can do it affordably. So keep that in mind if you're been putting your project off because you don't want to spend $500 or $600 on the steel. Be creative. You might have enough scrap steel in your stash, or you might be able to buy a piece of machinery that is real easy to get the steel out of. You just cut it all out with one of those cutting discs. It doesn't take a lot of, it'll take some effort, but it doesn't take a lot of money sometimes to make things. It's just a matter of your imagination. And some people say, well, I can't have this kind of stuff laying around at my place. Well, that's true. I've got it pretty good there. I don't have I got 15 acres here, and sometimes it's hard to find a place to set something. So I don't have a shortage of scrap metal, put it that way. So there it is. I think it'll look pretty good. When I'm done, I will blast a little bit of spray paint on there, and looks like I better get my sticker put on too. Blast a little bit of spray paint on there and call it a day. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell right there. Stay tuned.